Let's get it started. So,
Okay.
you're playing Zenyatta. I guess you're one of those Jonek wannabe.
Oh, of course.
But
Who's not?
yeah, okay, okay. So, what do you want to particularly like improve on Zenyatta? Is there any reason that you like playing Zenyatta?
Well, I was a Genji main for a long time, but then I got into comp, and the typical comp, everybody wants to play DPS, so I started to fill.
Exactly.
But I wanted to find a support hero that like let me feel like I really had a a sway and
Impact.
an impact, right? And so I picked up Ana
Hmm.
for a while, but then once I realized how bad she was, I kind of abandoned her and just went from there to Zen. So I picked up Zen, and I've spent so many hours training him in FFA, and I really enjoy playing him a lot. Um,
Okay.
and so in this clip, I mean, like I said, the matchmaking was really bad early in the morning, at least in
Hmm.
NA. So I was queued up
Hmm.
against like people who were GM like 2 games ago,
Okay.
and we got destroyed. I was out of position a lot, and it's
Hmm.
a short game, unfortunately. But just any insight you saw specifically with my positioning. Yeah, that's about it. So
Okay, so let me let's start with this question. So you're a coach, right? So
yes.
I usually wouldn't start with this kind of question, but um, so if you when you watch your video, like what do you think is your like biggest problem as Zenyatta?
I think with Zenyatta in general, it probably
Uh-huh.
is positioning. You can always get better with your positioning. And
Absolutely.
especially in a map like Rialto, a new map with Rialto, a map I've not seen a lot of Zenyatta's players play. I
Exactly.
I don't know where to go. Like especially when we get into the courtyard position, I
Okay.
legitimately don't know where to position myself. And to be fair, I have not put a lot of thought into it. But once I get
Okay.
in game, it's kind of like I feel like I'm too far out in the open. But then I'm like,
Uh-huh.
well, crud, I don't want to sit here and think about it right now. I'm too busy like trying to watch where the Genji is and Discords and stuff. But I definitely know with my
Uh-huh.
weakness, it is definitely going to be consistent positioning, more so than
Oh,
anything
okay.
else.
Yeah, that's very good insight. Like you're I don't think you're consistent with your like positioning. You sometimes do a like pretty amazing positioning that a lot of pro players would prefer to do. But it's not consistent. So
Right.
let's take a look at it.
Okay.
So um here game started and then you orbed Reinhardt here,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I kind of noticed your basically your default orb target can be a little better.
Okay.
For example, let's take a look at this here. So like what kind of DPS you guys have here?
I believe we had Farah Hanzo, I think. I can't remember.
Yes, it's Farah Hanzo, right? Your Mercy will either pocket Hanzo or Farah, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the thing is, you can always react to heal. Like when they need heal, you can just press shift and you can instantly heal them.
Right.
Um, but if you think about it, of course, if they have a lot of like burst damage, Reinhardt can die in a second or something.
Right.
But like if you were to default orb somebody, I don't think maybe like if you I think maybe doing Hanzo or Pharah, someone that's not boosted by not pocketed by Mercy at the moment,
Right.
would been better. And in this case, it'd been Hanzo because your Mercy is pocketing Pharah.
Okay.
And as you can see, if you were maybe orbing Hanzo right now,
Ah, yeah.
maybe
Maybe he's
just maybe, yeah,
right.
just maybe. But
Right.
you know, I don't think your Reinhardt at the moment really needs heal. And of course, you don't really want to like heal like defaults all or Roadhog because he can
Right.
self heal, blah blah blah. So yeah.
So I sometimes struggle with that because I know Orban Rhine will and not only enable his aggression a little bit, but it will build trance for me faster. But I need to
Mhm.
also consider, like you were saying, that there are going to be squishies who can survive simply because I gave them orb. Um,
Exactly. So, so let's say you were to react to the situation. So you see Reinhardt is taking damage, right?
mhm.
That moment you can start orbing him,
Gotcha.
right? But it's not gonna be crazy late because he has like 500 HP or
Right.
something, right? And he also has shield. But if it's Hanzo, he only has 200 HP and he doesn't have shield, right?
Yep.
It could be much more
Okay.
crucial. So if you were just gonna react to it, and the first target, the very first default orb target it's just maybe better to do Hanzo instead of Reinhardt. That's
Gotcha.
just one insight. Yeah.
So when we're not running dive tanks, defaulting orb on a 200 HP squishier target, and then passing orb once my tanks start getting under pressure, maybe.
Yeah, well, and that's a very good point. If you have a dive tank, just giving your orb to like maybe like Winston or
Mm-hmm.
D.Va can work out very well, like very very well. But if it's Reinhardt, I think you can take your like time just a little bit,
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And okay. Okay, so what's your mindset here? So to basically analyze what you just did here, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're charging right click and and charging right click and So what's your mindset here? Like what are you trying to do here
I think
as a Zenyatta?
I think looking at the DPS we have a lot of damage. And
Hmm.
I'm trying to pressure their Reinhardt as much as possible and get Discord and just dink him down because with the double
Okay.
projectile we should be able to win this shield battle. And I
Okay.
believe that my initial instinct was like we're running Hog, Hanzo, Pharah. If I can really pressure that Ryan, our Ryan will win that battle, and then we can push from there.
Okay, you're absolutely right about it. And let's see what kind of DPS like do they have? Like, do you see anybody
No.
here? Like any DPS? No. So, um, one thing that I noticed is that I feel like if my assistants were like building database on you, your right click would be around like 80 to 90% of all your like orb.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so pretty much 80% or 90% of the time, I get the impression you're using right click. And even when you should been, even when it's more beneficial to for you to use left click, I think you're overusing right click a lot of
Okay.
times.
Okay.
And here is this is I think one of those examples. So as you can see here, I don't think you're in danger, right?
Right.
So question, do you feel like you need to use cover or something right now? Not really. Like I don't see like Widow, I don't see Hanzo here,
Mm,
right? So I think you're pretty safe, right?
right.
So do you know the difference between right click DPS and left click DPS?
Isn't right click slightly less?
It's basically double.
Really? Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's information for me. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's basically double. So okay, then basically you can ask this question. Oh, then if it's double, why are like Overwatch leaguers using so many right clicks?
Mm,
Right? So in average, I think their right click percentage is slightly higher than 50%.
mm-hmm.
Also goes for Jonak as well.
Okay.
So like 55% of the time it's going to be right click, and the rest is the left click. And in your case, I think one more time, it's going to be like 80 to 90%.
Okay.
So it's a lot more,
Okay.
So and then like I said, the reason they are still using right click, even though it's like it has like twice lower DPS,
Mm-hmm.
is because it has more kill potential.
Right.
Um, well, yeah, because it's a burst damage. You're like throwing 5 orbs in a second, which is a burst damage, and which like if you're just left clicking, even if you hit a headshot on the target, the target who's headshotted it, still have time to react to the damage, so
Right.
he can hide, right? But if it's the right click, whew, you just disappear,
Mm-hmm.
so it's more about the kill potential. But this time, are you here like trying to kill somebody here? I don't really think so. Like, and you yourself mentioned that, oh, I'm trying to like pressure shield here,
Right.
So if you were to pressure shield, just left clicking would be much better.
Okay. That makes much more sense.
Yeah, and I'm pretty confident it was like very closer to like double.
I think you're
Like
right because I think it's
yeah.
3.5 seconds to fully charge a right click. And
Mm.
that means, one shot every 0.7 seconds. And I know primary fire is much faster than one every 0.7 seconds.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yeah, I think I did an experiment like 1.5 year ago something.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, you're absolutely right. Okay.
Okay. And as you can see, so I've noticed that you know how to like cancel your right click with the melee,
Mm-hmm.
right? But then the reaction time to heal is a little slow, which is fine a lot of times. But it's in this case, which is fine. But if you're left clicking, your reaction time to heal could be much
Right.
faster. So,
Okay.
yep. So there are like a lot of benefits to the right click, but you're kind of like overlooking that the benefits of the left click,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
Yep. Nice Discord. Okay, I think that was the very first left click you did.
30 seconds in.
Okay. Okay. Nice cancel, and you did the like right heal here.
Okay.
Nice reaction. Was good. And here, so maybe you're afraid of their Hanzo or something. So you charging right click and peek and shoot here is good,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because I think it's in this situation it's a little different. You could be left clicking here,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe if their Hanzo picks here, right,
Mm-hmm.
there's a chance you die. And I don't think their Hanzo would been picking here. When you're like pretty much like in front of the spawn.
Right.
So I think you right clicking here makes sense. Like I don't think left clicking would hurt here.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, but one thing that I notice here is that so let's talk about cover usage. Cover usage. So do you feel like you're using cover well? Um, yeah.
At the moment, I feel like I'm utilizing cover well. I mean, I'm
Hmm.
certain that I could be doing it better, but I feel like I'm
Okay.
doing it well enough as of now. I,
Yeah. So I got the impression, oh, he knows how to use cover. He's pretty smart. I like that. But and like you mentioned, I feel like it could be more consistent.
mm-hmm.
And I think you could be doing it more even. So for example, like right now you're charging right pull okay, right click, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is good. Yeah, this is very good. Very good example. And for example, like right now,
Mm-hmm.
you're still peaking,
Right.
right? But then if you are charging like right click right now, maybe you can stay here. You can be staying here or here, right?
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, I'm peaking for these split seconds when I'm not even going to be releasing any shots. So it doesn't make any sense for me to be peaking there.
It helps you to like understand where the target is.
Mm-hmm.
But like it you could be hiding a little more, I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
It could be like literally split of a second.
Right.
But you're like, kind of staying here
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think also I'm staying stationary too, which means if their
Hmm.
Hanzo's watching that, he might be able to line up a shot.
Exactly. So, and this is a very important part here. So, you heard Hanzo here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you react to, which is a very good play. You did a like sound play. You utilized the sound. Um, and you're trying to like do some Jonak play here, right? You know where Genji is, right? And you're charging right click, which is very good, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you a question. So in this scenario, your team is like up here, right?
Yes.
And you're behind them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is being always further back, would it be the safest position?
I mean, it's not always safer, no,
Okay, in which scenario do you think it's not
when
safe?
they're running flanker DPS.
Exactly, exactly. For example, like Sombra, for example, like Tracer or Genji in this case, right?
Right.
And the flankers are flanking. If you are far away, if you are keeping some long distance between your front lane or other heroes, right? Basically, it's very harder for them to peel you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's even more a little dangerous here. So I really like that you realize that oh, there's a Genji here, right? And you react to it, which is very good. And you're trying to make Jonah play, and it's completely fine.
Right.
Um, and if you look at this, look at your position. I think you are out in the open right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm transitioning it. I'm caught completely down with my pants down. So.
Okay. Yeah, so was pretty cool. Was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. It was pretty nice attempt, but if you look at the moment right here, you're kind of far away from the cover, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, and let's say if you were staying maybe like here, or
Mm-hmm.
even like, maybe this pillar, or like somewhere like here, literally hugging the cover, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you pick just a little bit, you can still do like try to like do cool Jonak play against this, Genji,
Right.
you still have the chance. Maybe it can be a little lower chance,
Mm-hmm.
possibly, but you have much more survivability if you do basically the same thing, right? Like, basically hugging the cover. So, first thing here is that the cover, you were out in the open here. And the second thing is, like I mentioned, you could been getting closer to your team. So let's say you were here right now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Um, you're out in the open. You're not hugging the cover if you're here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But still, you're closer to your team. So I think it's very possible, and it's very plausible to think that your team would have been able to cover you from the Genji.
Right.
Right. So, two things about your position here. Once again, cover and the distance from your team, court like team,
Mm-hmm.
when they have flanking DPS.
Right. Okay.
Do you have a question so far?
No, I don't. Thank you. This
Okay.
has been this has been this has been great.
Okay. So your mercy come to rescue, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as you can see, like if you were like here, the distance the mercy needs to fly is much, like less,
Right. Right.
So
Yeah.
it's less of a work for mercy, but your mercy is coming all the way, and at that time they're not getting any heal, so and it's getting like um causing a lot of troubles basically.
Right.
Hmm. Okay.
And this is where I really struggle. This is where I
Uh-huh.
clearly out of position now, but I don't know where exactly should be setting up here. I guess is my
Okay,
question.
so when I first watched this specific moment, right? The first thing that came into my mind is that, oh, you're like in the middle. What I'm saying is that
Mm-hmm.
you're like mediocre. So lukewarm. You're not super hot, you're not super cold.
Uh huh.
You're like lukewarm. So I guess really two options that you could been doing. So if you wanted to play aggressive right here, um you could been using this like aggressive covers,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are like hard. These are hard,
Right. Right.
but maybe if you wanted to play passive, you could been going like high ground up here, right? Or you could been using this cover here, or like here. But then you're out in the open here, right? So when you faced Hanzo here, you had no way to escape. You had no way to survive, right?
Right.
So but then let's say if you were utilizing this cover well, right? This one, right?
Yes.
Maybe there's a chance charge, right click, and pop off, and fucking kill the Hanzo just like Jonak or something. And
Mm-hmm.
if their Hanzo were to chase you here, you could be like just
Right. Play ring around, just run around in circles.
like this,
Be a
right?
tornado.
So yeah, exactly. So and it would at least made Hanzo waste more time than you just staying here out in the open like lukewarm.
Okay.
You want to go hot or you want to go cold. It's up to you, but let's just not be this
Right,
lukewarm.
right. So I've got to be decisive if I want the aggressive positioning corner or the defensive positioning corner. Do I want the Jonak or the Bedosin? I've got to decide. I can't just sit out in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere. Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So once again, to talk about this, there's not only one way to win the game. You can win a game as you're playing in a passive way. You can win a game as you're like playing in a like very like aggressive way, right? There's always like arguments, and like it's very controversial. Like even
Hmm.
our team during the team meeting always like talk about, oh, maybe we should be more aggressive here, but just like it doesn't matter which one you do it. It's not really about what is the best play at the moment, but like at least this or this you
Right.
gotta do it.
At least
Okay.
make a play, make a
Yeah.
decision.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So if you look at right now, you're playing in a very you're playing very far back, right? Which is okay.
Mm.
I think you could been going up here.
Okay.
But well, this is fine. This is fine.
I think I
Um,
was playing a bit more defensive because I'd seen my Pharah get picked again. But
exactly. But which is fine. Which is fine, right? Um, okay. This is very good play. So um, in this game, if you want to be the one who frag out, right?
yeah.
One of the easiest way to do it is to take off angle.
Mm-hmm.
So essentially they're all looking at where your teams are, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right here. And if you're taking off angle because they're not looking at you, you have more chance to frag out.
Right.
If you're confident with your aim ability,
Mm-hmm.
you can try more of these flank angle. Or if you're playing like DPS, you want to like do some sort of like high noon or something.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this could be one of the easiest way to like pull out the like fucking the pine kind of play.
Right.
Yeah, but I like that you were taking off angle. But yeah, and they used combo. It'd have been a little better if you like farmed your trans a little like sooner because they had the combo, right?
Right.
And I don't think they have mercy right now, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
if they did,
I can't remember
yeah,
if
yeah.
this was after the Mercy nerf or not either. With the being able to damage boost
Hmm.
Dragon Strike, I don't remember if that was now or not.
Hmm.
We certainly struggled with the Hog versus the Zarya. I felt like we didn't get much out of her Hog, whereas their Zarya was roasting us the entire game.
Hmm. So think about that. So um if you want to like utilize your hog
Mm-hmm.
versus Zarya,
Mm-hmm.
like your hog really needs to like flank. But
Right.
I guess like people in like not pro level like
Right.
maybe don't understand it a lot of times. So
I
yeah.
think they're just this, like you were saying, crossfire, like going in from different angles. Like that's something that I don't think is nearly utilized enough, and I've been trying to practice that a lot. But I think that's super valuable, especially for
Hmm.
snipers. But
Exactly. So your transfer was good. Your reaction time wasn't like bad, but this McCree died to Zenyatta, so it's not your fault, and you did what you need to do. And so in this game right now, right?
uh
It's it- basically quite frustrating for you, right?
right,
And then honestly, there will be a moment where wow, I can't carry these noob,
yeah,
and in that case, if you want to be a playmaker, maybe you can try to like flank, just like I said,
mm-hmm.
as Zenyatta, like you causing a lot of like distraction and like maybe sniping somebody with your right click,
Mm-hmm.
could work. So maybe with the transcendence you could be in going all the way here.
Uh-huh.
I mean if you really want to play aggressive,
Right,
yeah,
right.
but that's one of the option.
I was trying to stay into McCree so our Mercy could get the res off, which
Okay.
I think she did. I'm
Hmm.
not sure though.
Yeah, which is good. Okay. I don't think your awareness is bad. Your awareness is pretty good.
Okay.
You constantly like look around. And like I swear to God, I was coaching like few master players like yesterday, and then wow, they literally never looked back for like fucking 4 minutes. Wow, that was mind blowing. So
Well, this Genji had me scared. I was like, man, this
yeah.
guy's way better than I am. So I always had to be on my toes.
Yeah, so you're doing it right, and because especially you have a pretty like decent awareness, if you like utilize more cover, that's gonna be Gucci,
Right,
Yep. And even right now, you're out in the open, and if you were to like hog the wall, so basically, okay, let's try this. Let's try this
all right,
because um, Zenyatta doesn't have any escapability. That doesn't have mobility, right?
right.
So position for Zenyatta is extremely important, right?
Mm,
So well, what I can like what I recommend you to do is basically when you're moving, you're thinking, okay, I'm using this cover right now, and then I'm gonna use this cover,
mm-hmm,
and this is the only reason that I'm moving up.
right.
Okay, and then from here, okay, I'm gonna use this cover here, and that's the only reason that I'm moving up. Okay, so you always have like purpose of or goal in terms of like okay, I'm moving from this cover to that cover whenever you're making a move. Okay,
Okay.
yeah.
So the only time I'm ever out the open is because I'm moving from one cover to the next.
Yes, and you can peek, you can play around the cover,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then if you're not in like out in the open, that's fine. But yeah, but just have that mindset. And I'll be honest, um, like one of my assistants who's building database for me, he
Mm-hmm.
when he first started coaching, like working for me, he was 2600 ELO or something.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time we're studying Ryujehong,
Right.
and I wanted to like find out, oh, why is Ryujehong Zenyatta like so good at surviving? Because at that time, like Ryujehong was the best Zenyatta in the world. Like that was like almost like 2 years ago. But anyways, and I noticed that he's pretty much always hugging the wall. Like seriously, like always hugging the wall. And if he were to be attacked, he could hide himself in 1 second, pretty much always, like 90% of the time. So if I say this information, if I give this information to you, it doesn't really touch you. I know that, right? So for example, if you keep smoking, you're gonna die. It doesn't really like
Right.
you don't really feel much from it, right? But because my assistants were looking fucking tens of hours of video on Yu Hong, and he was making all the database, right?
Uh-huh.
he he actually understood that, wow, using cover and hugging wall is extremely important, and he adjusted to his gameplay, and in 3 weeks he got 1200 SR.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. I remember you telling that anecdote with your lecture, which, by the way,
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah,
excellent. I watched the entire thing probably
yeah,
twice.
yeah.
But that's fascinating. That's really really
Yeah, I
interesting.
mean, you can basically do the same thing. Like you are using cover like somewhat pretty decent. Especially considering you're like ELO,
Hmm.
but you could been doing more. Like I think Yujin would been doing more. Just
Right.
have that mindset, and then it was just significantly every position. And when you want to make a play, like I said, just flank, and so.
I think the Pharah switch really surprised me here. I
hmm
didn't press.
But if you're hogging the cover,
Right. Right.
even if you were surprised, you can hide yourself in 1 second.
Correct.
Okay. So right now is one of the times that I want you to just left click,
Hmm.
but you're still doing a lot of right clicks. You do it here, but it could be like faster. And as you can see, I feel like you're doing more damage here. So look at your ultimate gauge. Like
Uh huh. Yep, that is picking up fast. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
mhm, mhm. It's just unfortunate that they used like ultimates better, and yeah, like. Okay, so yeah, this is good. Yeah, this is like typical comp problem where like, like half the team goes here, half the team goes here,
Yeah.
and then, they don't know what they're doing.
I wanted to play aggressively with my trance because I knew that he had just used Grav, but I don't know where exactly our Hanzo was, but I think he was just outside of range.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I can tell you one thing you can do is to use your mic and communicate, but I've tried that, which is
Yeah.
extremely frustrating.
I use I
Like,
usually I can shot call fairly well, but a lot
mhm,
of the times when I play comp, I just don't want to practice my comps. I just want to practice my own gameplay, so I'll just kind of
okay.
keep quiet. I know that is
I
something
mean,
that I lack though for sure.
people don't like listen to you. It really frustrates you, and then that happens to me like often. And then like, oh guys, let's do this. And how about
Yeah.
playing this hero instead of this hero? And he's like, I don't think so. I think this is better. I coach NYXL. And then
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. That's okay. I had someone try and tell me that Pharah was dive DPS and Winston and Diva should be diving deeply when you run pharmacy. So, so
uh, yeah, I guess it's a typical comp problem, but yeah, even right now you're using cover, which is good. But okay, left click. Good. Okay. Oh, and one thing I noticed,
hmm
so when you are in a situation where you're basically fucked,
hmm
what I mean by fucked is like in a situation like where, okay, there Genji's looking at me, okay? So like there somebody who can aim at me is looking at me, right?
right.
What do you should do here?
Um, move unpredictably.
Okay, that's a fucking good answer.
I mean,
Okay.
look.
How do you do it?
I would 80 strafe maybe while I'm for the briefest second while I'm finishing up that far. Look down at the ground.
Hmm. So when you're like left click aiming, right?
Mhm.
Or like charging right click or whatever, you can basically default 80 spam.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's it's quite crazy. I say this all the time. It's quite eye-opening and crazy to see the results of the study, but I cannot share that information like the numbers to you,
Right.
right? But it's basically even the pro players, like very top tier players,
Mhm.
will have much harder time aiming against somebody who's 80 spamming.
Right.
Okay.
And so I think I was locking
Yeah.
on that far and just sitting completely still. So easy shurikens.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you someone move to the left, but like just more 80 spam works very well, especially if you're like low tier. And I'll give you one interesting tip.
Mhm.
So the higher tier that you become, people kind of adjust to the 80 spam a little bit,
Uh-huh.
right? So then what you want to do is with like right now, because you're not super like high tier, you want to just 80 spam, right? But once you get to the grandmaster or something,
Mhm.
maybe you want to try sometimes A and D and AD and A and D, more unpredictable.
Gotcha. So
So
mix up the pattern a little bit.
yeah, exactly. So I mean, even still, like just 80 spamming is still hard for them to like shoot at, but they kind of adjust a little bit, like they kind of like evolve, if that makes sense.
Right.
So
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. Okay, so yeah, that happened.
Yep, and that was another graph.
Yeah, and like a lot of hogs and like even in Overwatch League, they feed a lot of ultimate. So yeah, and same thing, if you are playing against a hog, you can try to like, farm your ultimate freely if he's just,
Right.
you can farm ultimate off of me,
Mhm.
so and a lot of hog will be like that, to be honest.
Right. Okay. So
Okay, that was a nice attempt. Yeah.
yeah, I'm guessing like, is this initial positioning okay? I started charging the right click a little slow, but is this starting position okay?
I think it's okay. But then because there's nothing much they can do here, right?
Mhm.
I think it's okay, but later, depending on what you have, like what you guys are playing and
Mhm.
what they have, you might want to adjust it. But I think starting position here is, nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. But then, okay, so listen, I would been a little scared of like picking out here, because your Hanzo was here, right?
Uh-huh.
And your Mercy was boosting, and they
Mhm.
can see, like Mercy might be here, right?
Right.
So I think there's a good chance their Hanzo would be Sonic or around here,
Right.
and as you can see, the projectiles are coming here,
Mhm.
Zen and Hanzo, right?
Right.
So it's a little dangerous for me in
Yeah.
my
Okay, I think
perspective.
I drop here because I'm like, oh crud, I'm in serious danger right now. But
Exactly. So, one bad thing about staying with your team is that you know basically enemy team will try to spam like where your team is, right? So it's the
yes.
same thing. Your Hanzo and Mercy were here, so they will try to spam here. So okay, nice drop. And using cover here, which is good. Um, and you can also see where Genji is, which is good. So you
Mhm.
don't need to like worry that if the Genji will be like coming this way,
Mhm.
all the way to the right.
Mhm.
So mhm, okay. I feel like you could be just left clicking and pressuring more shield damage, applying more shield damage here.
Right. Okay.
Um, and because you're right clicking too much, oftentimes I see your heal reaction is kind of slow.
Okay.
Mm. So yeah.
Yeah, I went to cancel my right click, and then that was too slow, like you said. Ryan dies, and
Mhm.
then because I'm trying to harmony the Ryan, I die as well.
Exactly. And here you have no cover. I mean, if you move to the right, you can like hide yourself.
Hmm.
But eh,
Where would be
yeah.
a better position than where I am right now? Because I'm being pressure. I'm feeling the pressure forward, so I'm trying to give myself a little bit of space, but I'm not sure
Okay.
exactly where I should be. This
The
map confuses
cover,
me.
yeah, the cover behind you. 1 second. Uh, maybe something like this
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
which is fine. Or the other one here.
Okay.
Anything is fine.
Right.
Yeah. Just like maybe try literally hugging the wall, and you will see. Wow, it's working. How
Right.
how
Yeah.
how the fuck did I survive here? Wow. um. Okay. Yeah. Nice right click attempt. I guess you could be right clicking here because you don't have a Rhine shield and they have snipers. You can die. If you're just keep left clicking, right?
right.
So okay, this is good. And if we watch the May here, right now, you are harmony orbing Zarya
Mm-hmm.
over critical May. Um, uh, I guess he died to Hanzo headshot anyways, but um,
Like we're reacting to that a bit faster.
yeah, and
Because if
like
he might not get headshot, in the future, and maybe he'll survive because I orb him from some other damage source or something.
mhm.
Okay.
So like I said, not only you're kind of like uh prioritizing your Reinhardt and Zarya harmony over too much,
Mm-hmm.
and also your because you're right clicking way too much,
Mm-hmm.
your heal like rotation is also slow.
Okay.
So combine like those two things, if I were playing DPS on your team, I'll be like, why isn't it giving me harmony over something,
right.
kind of
Right.
thing. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Um, but like you said, if it's dive conf, you can just preemptively or harmony of your diva or Winston.
Okay.
That works just fine. Yeah.
Okay.
And one more thing, if you have a Reinhardt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, you can left click way more because the shield will basically make you safer.
Right.
Yeah, but then if you are playing Winston, like if your team is playing Winston Diva,
Hmm.
then you need to right click more.
Okay, that's really valuable. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Never
but
even thought
then
about that.
even if you had a Reinhardt here, you're right clicking too much. Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
I guess the biggest yeah difference.
Okay.
And your damage will be twice basically.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
So
really
yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, it's a like short session. I kind of watched the first video that you sent me,
Hmm.
but I mean the first map, I think it was Sanctum.
Hmm.
Basically similar things. Yeah.
Just
Um,
cover
so
and for this map specifically, way too much right clicking.
yeah. Like, in general, and those two maps, like at the after Sanctum, were kind of too easy.
Right.
So
Yep.
once again, just to like sum up everything. First thing was your right clicking too much,
Hmm.
and I told you the like value of left clicking,
Yes.
and when you want to like left click more, those kind of thing. And also the other thing was your position, right? And I also mentioned you know, using cover is extremely important. It's actually eye-opening if you actually realize how important it is. It's not about what you know. Like I said in my video, it's more about how deep of understanding that you have.
Hmm.
Everybody who plays Overwatch understands. Well, using cover is important, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they don't do it properly.
Right.
So
Right. But no.
and then yeah, go ahead.
One thing is going back to the right click before we go past it is, would you say as long as there's something to shoot, should I be left clicking if I'm running a Reinhardt?
If you are safe,
Yes.
I mean, if your Reinhardt randomly fucking drops his shield, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
But most of the situations, it should be fine. And again, even when you're left clicking or right clicking, even if your Reinhardt were to drop the shield,
Hmm.
if you're AD spamming as you're doing like left
Uh
clicking,
huh.
you should be fine. Like most of the times, you should be fine.
Okay.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah.